She thought it was just another house showing, a quiet street, a routine client. But within moments, Beverly Carter's world would shatter, vanishing into the darkness at the hands of evil hiding in plain sight. Today's story takes you deep inside the chilling case that changed real estate forever and shattered a loving family. Welcome to Beneath the Surface, the dark side of crime, where we expose the hidden dangers lurking behind everyday lives. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and share your thoughts below, because the more we know, the safer we become. It began as just another evening for Beverly Carter, a beloved mother, grandmother, and one of Arkansas's top realtors. She went to show a house in the quiet outskirts of Little Rock. But what happened next would send shockwaves through her family, her community, and an entire nation. What began as a simple house showing turned into a terrifying nightmare that still haunts those left behind. Beverly Carter, 50, was more than just a successful realtor. She was the glue that held her family together, a woman known for her warmth, generosity, and infectious laugh. Her life was deeply rooted in Scott, a small community near Little Rock, Arkansas. Married to her high school sweetheart Carl for over 35 years, they had built a family defined by love and resilience. Together they raised 3 sons, Carl Jr., Chad, and Christopher, and celebrated the joys of becoming grandparents to 5 adoring grandchildren. Life had not always been easy. Financial challenges and frequent moves shaped the early years of their marriage. Carl's job in construction meant they often relocated, sometimes living with family to make ends meet. Beverly, fiercely determined, stayed home with the children until the youngest started school. She then decided it was time to chase her own dreams. Real estate became her calling. By the early 2000s, Beverly had earned her real estate license and quickly proved herself to be a natural. Her charisma, dedication, and warm nature made her a favorite among clients and colleagues. She rose through the ranks at Crye-Leike Realtors and eventually became one of the top agents in Arkansas. Tragedy struck the Carter family in 2003 when their son Christopher died in a car accident. Beverly and Carl took in his young daughter, Bailey, and poured their love into raising her. This act of compassion brought new meaning to Beverly's life. She thrived as a grandmother, urging her sons to have more children so she could embrace the role even more. As Beverly approached her 50th birthday, she was at the peak of her personal and professional life. She trained for marathons, traveled with Carl, and continued to dominate in real estate. The Carters even renewed their wedding vows in a beautiful ceremony, finally affording the dream wedding they never had as teenagers. But even in a life filled with love, darkness can find a way in. September 25, 2014, started like any other day for Beverly. She scheduled a showing for a property in Scott. The prospective buyers, Stephen and Crystal Adams, seemed eager to make a cash purchase and desired a quick move. Beverly saw this as a golden opportunity to close on a property that had been difficult to sell. Before leaving for the showing, she texted Carl with her usual thoughtfulness. "Having a showing. Mexican later, my treat. Love you." She shared the address with him as she always did for safety. It was routine, a safety measure that brought Carl comfort. As the sun began to set, Beverly arrived at the property at 14,202 Old River Drive. The neighborhood was quiet, the house isolated. This wasn't unusual for rural listings, but Beverly couldn't have known that the names and details she'd been given were entirely fake. Hours later, Beverly still hadn't returned home. Carl's concern turned into panic. He drove to the property and immediately sensed something was wrong. Her car was there, purse and notebook inside, but the front door was wide open. He called out for her. Silence. Carl's voice trembled as he dialed 911. "My wife's car is here. The door's open, but she's gone. Please help me." Family, friends, and police quickly gathered at the scene. As midnight approached, desperation grew. Beverly's phone pinged with a chilling text to Carl. "Sorry phone being dead, having drinks now. Carl's heart sank. Beverly didn't drink. Someone else had her phone. A neighbor told investigators about a black car backed oddly up to the house earlier that evening. A skinny white male had emerged, then vanished. No one heard screams, no signs of a struggle, just silence. As dawn broke, a community rallied. Realtors, friends, and volunteers flooded the area, posting flyers and spreading the word. The hashtag #FindBeverly went viral. People across the country began to follow the case, praying for a safe return. Investigators quickly unraveled the fake client names. Stephen and Crystal Adams were aliases linked to a prepaid phone, registered under Crystal Lowry. She was married to Aaron Lewis, a career criminal with a violent history: fraud, theft, armed robbery. He had spent years in prison. Aaron became the prime suspect. The search intensified. Days later, he crashed his car and fled from the hospital where he was taken. He was eventually captured at a bus stop after being recognized from news reports. Aaron's arrest marked a turning point, but he was cold and manipulative during interrogations. He handed over his phone and played a recording that chilled detectives to the bone. Audio clip. "Carl, it's Beverly. I'm okay. Please don't call the police. Just do what he says. I love you." Beverly had been forced to record a message of compliance, likely in a desperate attempt to stay alive. Aaron spun a twisted tale. He claimed he only kidnapped Beverly to extort money and that his estranged wife, Crystal, was responsible for her death. Crystal, however, painted a different picture. Crystal quickly admitted her role. She described how Aaron planned to kidnap a wealthy married woman who worked alone. Beverly fit the profile. She recounted how Beverly was tasered, bound, and taken to their house where she was kept in the bathroom. When Aaron realized Beverly had seen prescription bottles with his name, he panicked. According to Crystal, he decided to kill her. He wrapped duct tape around Beverly's face, suffocating her. Beverly's final moments were spent terrified and helpless. 5 days after her disappearance, police found Beverly's body in a shallow grave at a cement plant, a place Aaron once worked. Her hands were bound, her face wrapped tightly in duct tape. The autopsy confirmed suffocation as the cause of death. Outcome and aftermath. Aaron and Crystal were both charged. Crystal took a plea deal, receiving 30 years in prison. Aaron, however, reveled in the media attention. He denied everything in court, spinning new lies daily. He claimed Beverly had willingly gone with him for consensual sex and that Crystal killed her in a fit of jealousy. The trial was agonizing for Beverly's family. Carl Jr. and other loved ones sat through testimony that dragged Beverly's name through the mud. Aaron's defense was cruel and baseless, but the prosecution countered every claim. After hours of deliberation, the jury returned a unanimous verdict: guilty of capital murder and kidnapping. Aaron Lewis received 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Carl Jr. delivered a powerful victim impact statement. "My mother was taken from us in the cruelest way. The lies told about her hurt, but they do not define her. The only thing she did that day was go to work." In the years since, Beverly's legacy has lived on through advocacy. Carl Jr. founded the Beverly Carter Foundation, dedicated to improving realtor safety nationwide. The tragedy inspired widespread change in the real estate industry. Agents now use safety apps, panic buttons, and new protocols to avoid showing properties alone. Technology like InvisaWear, wearable jewelry equipped with emergency alert features, became popular. Beverly's story saved lives. Closing reflection. Narrator, soft, reflective tone. Beverly Carter's story is more than a chilling reminder of evil. It is a beacon for change. A devoted wife, loving mother, and doting grandmother, she lived a life filled with joy and kindness. Her tragic death left a hole in her family's hearts, but also sparked a movement that will protect others for generations. In the quiet moments of everyday life, we often forget how quickly danger can emerge from the shadows. Beverly's legacy teaches us the importance of awareness, preparation, and above all, cherishing those we love. Tonight, as you turn off the lights and lock your door, remember Beverly Carter. Her story whispers a solemn warning. Sometimes danger wears the mask of normalcy. Stay aware, stay safe. Outro music swells. Thank you for watching Beneath the Surface, The Dark Side of Crime. If Beverly's heartbreaking story moved you, please like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel for more powerful true crime stories. Stay safe and stay aware, because sometimes evil hides in plain sight.